Disclaimer. Please forgive me now for there may be mispronunciations in this video. It was during the afternoon of May 1973 at Lake Commons, Sandown, which is in the Isle of Wight, UK, when a strange meeting occurred. Two children, one only known as Faye, while the other was unnamed boy, were playing near the river when they heard a wailing. They described it as sounding like an ambulance siren, and it gained their attention. They followed the sound across a footbridge over a stream and were met with a strange, unidentified being that had been described as a cross between a clown, a robot, and an alien. The children described it as shy but friendly, but admitted that it was frightened of humans and would not defend itself if it were attacked. The creature claimed to drink from the stream after cleaning it, and ate gathered wild berries, which in the act was strange as is. It would eat by thrusting its head forward and somehow moving the berries back and forth between its eyes and then down into its mouth. The children asked if it were human, and it admitted it was not. Not only did it eat odd, but it looked odd as well. It stood over 2 meters tall, but had human proportions of 2 arms, 2 legs, and a round head. But that was all that was similar to a human. Its limbs looked like wooden slats. Its head, which sat on the shoulders without a neck, was described as being too large for its otherwise thin body, and the head was shaped like a perfect spear. Its skin was very white and had the consistency of paper. Its hands and feet possessed only 3 digits each, and its face looked to be crudely painted on the surface of its head. There were 2 blue triangles representing its eyes, while a fat brown rectangle was its nose, and its mouth was a thin yellow shape of an oval. It wore a green tunic, white trousers, and a pointy yellow hat. It carried with it a black knob microphone with a white flex attached. It spoke into it. It supposedly used the microphone to communicate with the children, but later they found out it could speak without it. Without the microphone, its speech was somewhat unclear and its lips barely moved. It also carried a book, but there wasn't much of anything about that. It did reveal its name as being All Colors Sam. Things only got stranger when Sam invited the children to his self-made metal hut, where he spent 30 minutes talking to them. The hut was 2-floor and held aspects of reflecting to Sam's life. The conversation left the children with more questions than answers about who or what Sam was. This event was the only encounter with Sam the Sandown clown ever documented. The preservation of this narrative is through the 1978 British UFO Research Association report. The report came from Mr. Y, one of the children's fathers who wished to remain anonymous. Target Faye, as the report had referred to one of the children, told her father about the encounter, leading him to report it. So what was Sam the clown? There are several suspects in the line. Number 1. A human wearing a costume. If this is the case, it is a very creepy event, having attracted 2 children to his or her presence and then to lead them to his so-called hut. May have gone down badly if it weren't for something of the negative nature. However, when the location was searched, nothing was found. No clown, no hut, and how it ate food was also pretty odd for a human standard. Number 2. A faerie. Unlikely. Fairies are known for leading people astray, but this creature wanted to talk before letting the children go on their own way. Sam caused no mischief or sickness. He didn't seem like a trickster or of a human appearance. I have never heard of a story of a fairy turning into another creature as odd and bizarre as Sam. Number 3. A ghost. Sometimes, very rarely, have I heard of a story of a ghost turning into a creature that is different from its original form. And even then, they have kind of a transparency to them. Ghosts haunt particular areas, sometimes being seen by more than a singular person. But Sam seemed to be solid, at least for what we can tell. Number 4. A robot. If Sam is a robot, it's a unique one. I don't have much to say on this suspect, only that I think it's unlikely. They did describe him as very robotic, especially for a robotic type creature of the 1970s. Number 5. An extraterrestrial. Now we're getting somewhere. I have 2 suspects that I believe could be the culprit, but I also have points why they may not be. An alien is one. Aliens may take on the form, depending their abilities, of a creature or a person that may be comforting to the individual they are communicating with. For example, some appear as humans, others as reptiles in human forms. Maybe this potential alien took on a form most comfortable for the children. Its odd behavior and speech may be a result of it not belonging or understanding this planet's communication. Number 6. A demon. I brought this suspect up to a friend while we were discussing the subject. He felt the same way. Could it be a demon? Demons are another creature that can be perceived as something other than itself. Sam was odd-looking and spoke differently than a human-type creature. But the only thing throwing me off is that demons are usually malevolent. They like to cause harm, cause sin, and attach to people they come close to by causing more havoc or sucking the energy or life force out of them. I have never heard of a story of a demon being pleasant, just wanting to talk, and then disappearing without a trace or being heard of again even by the people that witnessed them. Number 7. Folie à deux. This means madness of two in French, also known as shared psychosis. This psychiatric syndrome has symptoms of a delusional belief that are transmitted from one individual to another. However, this disorder is not in the current 5th edition of Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, which considers the criteria to be insufficient or inadequate. Even if it were, the disorder would most likely continue with the delusion throughout the time the child has been inflicted with it. Recurring delusions would follow, and the parent would have most likely noticed if told these delusions and probably wouldn't have reported it. I think it's unlikely it was a shared psychosis. Number 8. A hoax. I suppose this could be possible, except for the odd behavior on how he ate and how everything seemed to disappear. Maybe, but unlikely, it could be a human in a costume. Or what about the children? Children have been known in making up stories for attention. I know a child, who I will leave nameless, who was sucking on her own skin, causing bruises. She claimed she didn't know where they came from, and it worried her parents enough to take her to the hospital after calling her doctor. The parents learned a day later that it was the child making her own bruising, and that she didn't want to tell anyone because she thought she would get in trouble. I don't think she purposely did it for attention. For all I know, she could have. However, these children were insistent that this encounter happened to them for the remainder of their lives. What do you think is the Sandown clown? Or All Color Sam? An alien? A demon? Tell me your opinion. Did you enjoy this video? Want to support this channel and get early access? Feel free to check out my Patreon page where I create content on cryptids, hauntings, alien abductions, sailors, killers, and much more. Can't support me there? Like, comment, and subscribe here.